Who named their pony Macaroni?
We read our book.
Poems about White House Pets by Marilyn Singer. George Washington's dogs. Besides having a country to lead, he created a new dog breed, known for its zest and its speed, as well as its howling sound, an American fox hunting hound. The mansion and plantation were rife throughout George's life. He bought 2 or 3 for his wife. Some were fierce, some frisky, some tame. He gave each and every one of them their own choice name. Madame Moose was an elegant belle. There were sweet lips and true love as well. So to tell to George, they were all of his jewels. Oh, and he also bred mules. Thomas Jefferson's mockingbirds. Lover of gardens, music, words, and most particularly mockingbirds, brought from a slave for 5 shillings, his very first winged pet. Years later in the White House he had others, but his favorite was Dick, whose marvelous tricks were singing along with his violin.
Dad, you know something?
What?
I know that mockingbird, and you guys. I know what mockingbird. Do you know mockingbird? Oh.
Andrew Jackson's parrot. Andrew Jackson bought his wife a parrot and named it Polly. He thought it would bring his dear Rachel joy. The bird was destined to outlive them all and find unusual ways to annoy. When Jackson died with long forewarning, the parrot proved she was rather precise. At his funeral, while folks were mourning, she flapped and squawked and began to curse. Was it at the banks, at his rivals, supporters, at the wealthy VIP, at fellow lawyers, reporters? Who could have taught Polly such scandalous words? A hint, it surely was not the other birds.
Don't worry, guys. We only halfway.
James Buchanan's bald eagles. The bald eagle, majestic and mighty, a strong flyer but not flighty. Our country symbol, our figurehead admired and also hunted. Killed by pesticides and lead, emblem of freedom, a bird not designed to be a pet, to be confined. What was on Buchanan's mind? To keep a caged pair? Did he study them and hope to share their power to become a respected and forceful chief executive? If so, it was to no avail. That president was doomed to fail. In the White House, Andrew Johnson's mice. In the White House, a mouse is not a welcome resident. Occasionally, neither is the sitting president. Such was Andrew Johnson, who ever reached and got impeached. Lonely, they say, and loudly disgraced. Perhaps that's why he identified with these unloved mice. He fed them flour from his own mill, wished that they might eat their fill, offered them water to quench their thirst. He knew what it was to face hard times. He knew what it was like to be cursed. Tried by the Senate and then acquitted, he finished out his team. But what happened to his rodent friends, no one can confirm. Ulysses S. Grant's horses. There was a horse Grant couldn't ride. There was no horse Grant couldn't ride. There was no horse he couldn't tame. He prized each steed he set aside. In horsemanship he took great pride. At West Point this talent made him a name. There was no horse Grant couldn't ride. Some of his mounts were calm, some dignified, some thought battles were a game, but he prized each steed as he sat astride. Some were lost, others died, some lived on to great acclaim. There was still no horse Grant could not ride. He claimed a southern pony and then felt justified in giving it Rebel Jeff Davis's name. He prized each steed that he set aside. Cincinnati, a charger, helped him preside at approximately war's end. There was no horse Grant couldn't ride. As General Grant was glorified, as president not, but just the same, there was no horse Grant couldn't ride. He prized each steed he set aside.
Oh, what? He's riding a pony.
Yep.
Oh,
Old Whiskers, the White House goat. Imagine a gentleman running in a top hat and long frock coat, hollering stop and waving his cane at a runaway billy goat that was pulling a cart with his grandchild inside. It's a picture without comparison. Imagine how people might have laughed at their president, Benjamin Harrison, a man thought so cool and dignified, not prone to unflattering cappers. No wonder it took 10 years for the story to get in the papers. Okay, bath time.
No.
We'll finish the rest of it when you get out.
No, but she's reading it. Please.
We'll,
No. I don't. We told me I played on it too.
To know history well, it may be crucial to view some pets' names as political. Ben Harrison's possums were called with affection. For the Republican policy on tariffs and trade, folks might have liked the possums, but Ben had overstayed. Civil War was a fight he didn't want to happen, but Mildred named his ponies Dixon and Mason for the line between slave states that once were free. He signed into law pro-Southern policy. Okay, we'll read the rest when you get out, okay? This is a long book. Look, we're 25 pages in, and it's got...
Well, we can't read.
It's got... Hold on, let me see how many pages. It's got over 50 pages, and we're only 20 in. We're not even halfway.
But you know how we this part? Well, we know how we these. We can't read. We should not read those.
Okay. Let me see.
That's what.
When Lyndon Baines Johnson picked up one of the beagles by the ears, he was barraged with angry letters, telegrams, and phone calls. Although he saw nothing wrong with the practice, he had to issue a public apology. In truth, LBJ loved his dogs and was often photographed with them. He owned several beagles, including him and her, and a white collie. However, his favorite dog was Yuki, a mixed breed that his daughter Lucy found abandoned at a gas station in her father's hometown, Johnson City, Texas. Yuki attended cabinet meetings and slept in the president's bed and flirted with him in the White House pool. But when LBJ wanted to include the dog in his daughter's wedding photo, his wife, Lady Bird, put her foot down. Johnson died in 1973 with Yuki by his side. His grandson wrote of his connection to the dog. They shared a very significant bond that personified the American spirit. Only America could have a poor farm boy from Johnson City end up in the White House. During Richard Nixon's presidency, 3 dogs lived in the executive mansion. His Irish setter, his daughter's poodle, and his other daughter's Yorkshire Terrier. But Nixon was best known dog was Checkers, and he saved Nixon's political career in 1952 when he was running for vice president. Nixon was accused of receiving secret donations. He went on television to deny the misuse of funds and said that there was one gift he would never return: the Cocker Spaniel his children adored. The address became known as the Checker speech. Though some saw the speech as melodramatic, it was a success. President Eisenhower and Vice President Nixon were swept into office. After Nixon's political scandals, Gerald Ford wanted to heal the nation's wound. For a pet, he chose one of the most popular service and therapy dog breeds in the U.S., the Golden Retriever. Liberty was a hit with the press and public, especially when she gave birth to 9 puppies. Ford's kept one and named it Misty. In 1977, both Liberty and Misty and the other pups were featured on the Ford family Christmas card. Jimmy Carter grew up on a farm surrounded by cows, pigs, ducks, horses, and dogs, but he had just 2 pets at the White House, both belonging to his daughter. A border collie mix named Amy. The dog eventually returned to the teacher, possibly because Grits didn't get along with Amy's devoted cat, Misty. Misty had the distinction of leading his unique name to an instrumental by jazz guitarist Gabriel Szabo. Ronald Reagan brought no pets to Washington, D.C. during his second term in office. He received Lucky, a pup. The dog proved to be a handful, often dragging the president along by her leash, and she soon had to be sent to his ranch in California. Taking her place at the executive mansion was Rex, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Rex also was also a leash puller, but was smaller and easier to handle. Some reporters claim that Reagan used the dog's escapades as an excuse to dodge their questions. Rex was frequently in the news. He had he threw the switch to light the national Christmas tree. Then there were reports of how the Spaniel stood in the doorway of the supposedly haunted Lincoln bedroom, barked and refused to enter. Okay, bad time.
No, don't say that. Record it.
Alright, stop the video.
Okay.
No, T, record it. No,
Cut the video.
Cut.
no, I can't cut it. T,
Like other presidents before him, George W. Bush had a presidency plagued with controversy. His pets provided a welcome reprieve. Barney was by his side during our 8 years in the White House. He never discussed politics and was always a faithful and loyal friend. He also had a Scottish Terrier that George gave his wife. A second Scottie, which she named Miss Beasley after a character in a children's book. He also owned one of Lee's pups, Spot, a Springer Spaniel. When Barack Obama was running for office, he promised his daughters that if he won, they would get a dog. He kept his word and got Bo, a Portuguese water dog, who was a gift from Senator Ted Kennedy. Bo had been the subject of many children's books and was soon joined by Sonny, another one. Donald Trump is one of only... Somehow this doesn't surprise me. Do you know this part? Donald Trump is one of the only presidents to have no pets. The spokesperson has said there are no plans at this time to add any. Do you need help? Okay, that's it. No, this is not book, right? This is the who helped illustrate it and write it. That's the end of it. See? Okay.
Okay, oh.
Okay.
So this is the swan, this is the bye, this is the bat. Oh, what? You are over. Who are you? And this is one book, so I'm glad you saw it. Because this is the only widest book I know. This is the widest book. This is the widest book I ever have. This is the only one. Bye. See you next video. Why? Why so more